Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and many interesting topics to run through today, chiefly among which being Clayster after their defeat yesterday to the London Royal Ravens, talking about the practice options that are available for pro players right now, saying that there should be some more things added, and well, the current state of it is not exactly ideal for the pros. Intrigued to take your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, wanted to mention the group standings as they stand right now in Stage 3 of the CDL 2021. Did say I was going to talk about this in yesterday's video. I tried to look it up before I finished recording, and I couldn't find that anyone had updated it quite as of yet. So this is where it stands as of now. Group A, we have 2 games in there today we'll talk about towards the end of the video. Group B, of course, we had some craziness that went on yesterday, and this group now stands as the following. I'm not really sure why there's a 4 here, a 3 here, a 6 here, a 5 here. I think the Ravens should now have 40 points as well, given they won yesterday. But anyway, Group B, OpTic, Chicago, Los Angeles Thieves currently sitting 1 at 2. FaZe, I think, are in 3rd right now, but you can see they're pretty much tied with the subliners here. 5-5 map record, 1-1 map record, and series record. Of course, Ravens down here at 1-2, Surge down here at 0-2. So, still seems like it's going to be a battle between OpTic, Thieves, FaZe, and subliners to actually get the top 3 spots in the group. But I mean, there's going to be some absolute craziness that goes down, I'm sure, this weekend and next weekend to determine exactly who that is going to be. And on the other side of things, you're looking at the Minnesota Rokkr, surprisingly at 0-1 after their loss last week, I believe, to the Mutineers. So, well, they have a must-win series later today against the Los Angeles Grillers that we will look at to also play the champions Toronto Ultra. Also thought this was kind of interesting from the London guys. I mean, we saw yesterday they won that series. A few days ago, Zero was released, as was Dominate, their coach. Not sure what's next to me. We'll probably take some time to reassess, then get back to it with a challengers team, as he says. You know, how different the season could have been with me and Trey if we could have got all the way out to the US. And as Paul X says, hashtag, well, for Dom, love you, brother. And it was kind of interesting to see, well, that there were, well, the hashtags that were coming out from the players yesterday. Played them like a fiddle in map 5. Too proud of the boys, says Shane, the coach of the Ravens. Extremely tough time for everyone involved with the team. Good to see us play like that. Hashtag for Dom. Basically, I mean, maybe they're kind of saying, like, you know, to the London Royal Ravens management, like, you know, we don't think Dominate should have been dropped off the team. This is, you know, kind of frustrated with that decision, possibly. And so I thought this was kind of funny as well from Kenny. Here we go with the CDL specialist in my mentions questioning our play calls. Thought this was kind of a funny tweet given the play call they made in the final round. Regardless of what you think about that, like, A-bomb play call, at least take the bomb right. Sparkly Nacho says, phone, wallet, keys. Oh, wait, the bomb, it's back in spawn. We forgot to bring it over to A, and then, of course, the round kind of falls apart there. Of course, maybe they could have won that game, and if it really felt like FaZe, we're going to find a way to close it out regardless. But anyway, it's a very interesting series yesterday. Thought I mentioned this as well, because in yesterday's video, we talked about this whole method and parasite stuff where they had a series going on, and they were pretty frustrated with some of the refereeing decisions, had them, well, replay a map, even though technically they won it from their perspective. They ended up winning that series and closing it out 3-0, but as a method says, they won 4-0, because of course they won the Search and Destroy, and then it had to be replayed. Play in the knockout bracket next week, so we'll have to keep an eye on the Challengers Elite. Always some exciting stuff going on down there. And Parasite, having not qualified for the playoffs or whatever for the Elite, then he's looking for a new team as well, moving to Texas as well. So we'll have to see where Parasite lands, because some good entertainment will probably come as a result of it. So yesterday there was of course a very interesting series. Both the series were crazy. Ravens versus the subliners, and Ravens come out on top in a 3-2 fashion. And Clayster not particularly happy with their team's performance. Pathetic, lost 3-2. GG to them. It seems like New York right now can only win hard points. The other game modes, I mean, I said respawns, I think, in yesterday's video by accident, but controls and Search and Destroys, they certainly have a difficult time with losing pretty much all of them to, well, all of them to London, and pretty much all of them to FaZe, even though they somehow got over the line in that raid Search and Destroy in pretty unexpected fashion, certainly, when they went down to the wire in that FaZe dropped 3-0, then 5-3 in that final map and threw it away, and New York beat them at last Sunday. So Clayster pretty frustrated with the situation. He comes up with this, which I thought was kind of interesting, because of course Clayster's going for the 3-peat, right? He's going for the back-to-back-to-back World Championship victories. And there's got to be some questions, right, about where Clayster, I think, sits in terms of the all-time list. I think we talked about it on the Breaking Point podcast a couple of days ago, but you look at like the all-time list of, well, top players of all time, you're looking at, okay, Crimsix, Scump, Karma, Formula, probably like, well, for the guys on the OpTic Dynasty that certainly come to mind out there. Clayster, I think, has got to be around there at number 5, if not even higher, right? I mean, you think about it, he's won 2 World Championships in a row now, on a United, and now on, well, in Modern Warfare, on, you know, of course, on Dallas Empire after getting dropped up, well, after the United team splits up, then he gets dropped again, comes back into a new team and is still competing with the best. It is very impressive what Clayster has been capable of over his career, and you really do have to ask questions, like, if he wins the World Championship this year, like, where does he sit in terms of the all-time, well, list of player rankings? I certainly think that his, like, 1400-day streak, where he didn't win an event back in, you know, from, like, Black Ops 3 all the way through to World War 2 and beyond, that, well, doesn't necessarily help him in that sense, but as of late, he's really had a second resurgence in his career. But as he says, I got to get way better if I want to get a chance to do the 3-peat, right? No player, of course, has ever won a 3 back-to-back-to-back World Championships. This would be his 4th in total. Of course, last year was online, but, you know, he's definitely still going for it, and I think this team is honestly capable of it. Maybe it needs one more change, I'm not really sure, but we were talking about at the start of the year, really, the fact that if Hydra comes in around this time in the year, by the time it gets to the World Championship, they should at the very least be competitive. And as he says, it's just so hard, though, to get good practice for a multitude of reasons. There's nothing we can play that simulates the tournament environment. Need with many ease, 60Hz, ranked play, matchmaking, face it, whatever, straight up need it. Although we've made some great strides on the practice side of things. You guys remember at the start of the season, we'll look at in a second, there was a lot of frustration from Slasher, Crimsix especially, regarding the servers that they had to play on, the fact that they were playing on 20Hz tick servers, whereas in the league they were actually playing on the 60Hz servers. I think they've finally got that sorted out, so they're effectively playing on the same servers for practice as they play in the pro side of things. But if you're an actual player, what else do you play outside of just, well, on those practice servers when you're scrimming, right? You can't necessarily play, well, the, you know, ranked play obviously isn't really ideal. You don't play on the same matches at all, and there's been a lot of talk lately about, you know, Warzone and stuff like this from some of the OpTic guys, the fact that, well, I can't really play anything that isn't, well, I can't really play anything on stream because it's not really good practice for the pro player. It's much better for me to just play best of 11 scrim sets up against some of the top teams than playing league play or whatever, because, okay, I'm not playing on those 60Hz servers which are the same on, well, the what I play in the pro games, therefore, okay, the spawns maybe are slightly different, as we discussed, and all these types of issues that players have brought up over time. And, well, as he says, like, we've made great strides, thank God no more GB servers. I just want a mode I can load into and play at a high level with the same infrastructure I do in tournaments. And this is the thing, right? League play, yes, it does simulate what the pros are playing on, and okay, it's kind of the same thing, but for the pros, it's actually not the same thing, right? Because you're playing on slightly different servers, they're not 60Hz, and therefore, well, you can't really hop in and play it exactly the same way as you would in pro games. We've seen teams like FaZe and OpTic as well just hop their entire team into league play just for some content and stuff. I think the FaZe guys do it just for fun on occasion, to just destroy teams in league play with their full lineup. But Clayster's putting in some pretty significant requests right here to Activision, to the CDL, to Trek, to whoever, to actually figure this out, so we have some sort of matchmaking in place, some sort of face it system like they're having Counter-Strike Global Offensive, ESEA type stuff, where there's maybe a third-party provider that can actually, well, make these servers work that players can play on outside of just their practice servers and stuff like this. So it's all kind of interesting stuff, and we also don't really know if next year we're getting a new COD. There's been certainly some rumors as of late saying, okay, Call of Duty World War II Vanguard, is it actually going to be ready for when they want it to be? Are we going to be playing on a different game, maybe Cold War again for another year of Call of Duty? If that is the case, it actually could be kind of interesting in the sense that we may get much more infrastructure than we're used to, because obviously the game's 1 year life cycle tends to hurt Call of Duty, at least in terms of having the top tier stuff. As Grown at CDL Intel says, pro players now have access to 60Hz servers for scrims and 8, but they're clearly not to quite the degree that Clayster would like it to be. And, well, just really talking about league play in general, I thought this was kind of funny, because you guys are maybe somewhat confused sometimes where you get placed, but at least you're not Awakening. Awakening got placed in competitor in league play, all things considered. So yeah, for a number of reasons, really, Clayster's kind of, well, not exactly sure that this system that we have right now is necessarily the best one. Kind of interesting things I thought on Raid right here. You can see that TJ just get absolutely pieced here by Shotzzy. I would be so annoyed if I was TJ trying to come down red steps here and to see Shotzzy sliding back and forth on me again and again and again. I mean, I'd be absolutely fuming, and then just gets destroyed. Oh my god, like, he actually just finessed him so hard. That's just so disgusting to see. So yeah, this is what Shotzzy's prepared for their matchup. I believe they play on Saturday. And well, this also on Raid, I thought this was crazy. When I saw Crone initially tweet this out, I thought he was going to be getting shot from underneath the truck. You guys might remember there's a spot that you can go on the driveway where you look underneath the truck and then you can actually see them defusing. But this is the spot that they use here on Raid. I mean, this is absolutely incredible stuff. I've never seen this before in my entire life. I don't think this was a thing back in Black Ops 2, but there's some sort of wallbang spot right here. I don't know how it's even possible to find this. You can just bang straight through, well, underneath, like through red, through the floor, through this wall with a Krig, not even with FMJ or anything like you used to have back in the day, and basically not lose any damage at all and just smoke this guy straight through the wall off the bomb. So that's pretty incredible scenes. I'm sure some of you guys are going to be trying this out in league play over the coming days. So yeah, remarkable stuff, to be honest. Maybe that'll get fixed over time. Thought this was cool as well from my AU Turtle. So far, FaZe are the only team yet to be 3-0 swept this year. I wonder if it'll happen at one point, if it will ever happen for them. But yes, swoops, they've got 6 sweeps, only got swept, well, I think they've got swept 0 times. times. And well, Empire, Ultra, they've been swept twice. You can see it's kind of interesting here looking down through the league. Every team has got a sweep at some point or another, so fair play to all involved, especially, you know, Surge and Ravens getting one up on the board. But thought this is pretty interesting that, yeah, 3-0 sweeps don't seem to be on FaZe's agenda anytime soon. I doubt it's honestly going to happen for the rest of the season. But who really knows? FaZe could, well, continue to have a little bit of a hard time, and especially if they can't win their Search and Destroys, and yesterday was a little bit suspect, I think, well, we could be in for a fun time, certainly in some of the matchups that they have. Thought this was crazy as well from back in 2019. You guys, I'm sure you watch the flank, and you enjoy watching the flank, and it's great content, certainly, for the CDL with Zuma and Ben Nassim hosting it, and as Hex says back in 2019, I'd pay to develop a show based on Zuma and Ben. I know they've talked a couple of times on the show the fact that, you know, Hex has kind of told them to do this, but I thought this was kind of crazy, right, that Hex a couple of years ago had said, look, that would be absolutely banging if you guys actually teamed up and did a podcast or something, and now they do it, and it's like, well, probably the greatest thing that we've had in the CDL these last several months, certainly. Let's talk about the matches for today. 2 games. They honestly, like, they might not be the biggest blockbuster games in terms of the teams involved, but they are very important in the Group A standings, because Ultra, can they continue their run to be like such a dominant team? I mean, right now, we'll have a look back in the standings here. They're 6-0 map record so far, so they haven't even lost a map yet this stage. Will Ultra manage, or will Gorillas manage to take a map off them with this Chino team? And this is like a really big series for Gorillas as well, because they obviously opened up with a nice victory against the Paris Legion, but Gorillas are going to have a hard time. They're now with Chino in the squad instead of Vivid. I don't really think that's going to be a long-term solution, but who really knows? Maybe they'll actually come out swinging, because they still have to play Dallas, Florida, and Rokkr, and the Toronto Ultra, so not going to be easy for them. But right here against Ultra, they could put up a great fight. I would be intrigued to see a series that goes the distance here and see Ultra get tested once again. I think some of these maps are certainly going to be close. And then the final series is Rokkr versus Paris Legion. Now, Paris have made some changes to exactly how their lineup's working, so they've got Scraps now on the SMG, I believe, the second SMG with Classic. We've got Temp on the Flex, Aqua's the main AR, and of course it is Paris's home series. And generally so far this season, I'm not sure if this statistic fully backs up. A lot of people are saying that at a team's home series, they actually tend to perform somewhat better than at the other one. So I don't really know if this is just pure placebo, because of course it's all online, but it really makes a difference. But at the end of the day, apparently some teams have been playing significantly better at their own home series than they tend to do otherwise. So maybe Paris Legion have a great week here. And up against a Minnesota Rokkr which looked somewhat weaker last week, losing to the Florida Mutineers, we could certainly see an interesting series that goes the distance. But once again, a massive bounce back series, certainly for the Rokkr, if they want to make it to top 3 in this group. Both of these groups are absolutely stacked right now. I'm sure we could see some absolutely incredible tiebreaker situations that go down. But intrigued to take your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. I know people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.